Hey everybody, it's Yoli Medina, and I'm continuing to cover the Koberger case. And I just saw that recently there were orders to seal certain documents and unseal other documents. And I'm not going to go over that, but what brought it got me thinking, I guess. And there was something that happened in this case back in August of 2023. And this was a motion to compel the IGG information, and IGG is an investigative genetic genealogy, which was used to identify Brian Koberger. Now, there was I guess there was a difference of opinion. The prosecution believed she was not entitled to any of that information because it wasn't admissible. And the defense said, yes, we need it, and here's why we need it. And as a part of the here's why we need it, Ms. Taylor brought experts to educate the judge on why she needed it. And she brought an attorney who talked about the standard of care and why she needs this information. It's a part of what you need to do when you're defending somebody, and the investigative genetic genealogy is involved. She also brought Bicca Barlow, who later became an attorney for Brian Koberger, and Bicca Barlow had more knowledge regarding the DNA information that was discussed in this hearing. And then the defense also brought Gabriella Vargas, who was an interesting person. She's basically like an IGG investigator, and she builds or tries to build family trees. And she's well known in her profession, and she came to testify about how law enforcement can go into databases they're not supposed to, where people have opted out. They've actually opted out of law enforcement being able to use their information for criminal purpose, for solving crimes, let's say. And she talked about that. And she also signed a declaration in support of this motion. And her declaration, talked about why she was testifying and so on and so forth. And she actually gave testimony at this hearing. So the prosecution had every opportunity to cross-examine all of these witnesses that Ms. Taylor brought to educate the judge on why she needed the IGG. And these hearings were had over days because it just took long. I mean, she was doing direct examination so that the judge could have evidence by testimony as to why she needed this information. And I believe this was a first impression with the court, so she really needed to educate the judge on why she needed it. And after Gabriella Vargas testified, she received a visit by the feds, by the FBI, and she told Ann Taylor. So at the next portion of the hearing, where somebody else was going to testify, I believe it was probably Bicca Barlow, she brought it up with the court, and she said, this is what happened. The FBI went to her home. This is Gabriella Vargas's home. They talked to her about her testimony, and she said something to the effect that, I may file a motion about what happens to witnesses when they testify. So then Mr. Thompson got up to explain, and he said, well, I received information that she was not sure of her testimony, that she may not have read her declaration, the declaration that she filed before the hearing, and that she was questioning her own testimony. So I instructed the FBI to go investigate. Okay. He said this in open court, and I will post the long crime episode. It's about 10 minutes long in the description box so you can see for yourself. And he said this, and my opinion about that was alarming. I was like, what? How does this happen? I mean, any litigator, whether it's in civil or criminal, knows that if you get information that a witness is backing out of their testimony or questioning their testimony, what do? You cross-examine them. That is exactly what you do. You don't go to the FBI and say, talk to this witness about her testimony. This was the most bizarre thing in this case. And I'm going to show you a document, and it's the judge's order sealing an exhibit, which is Exhibit B, to the prosecution's notice of intent not to cross-examine any of the witnesses at that hearing, including Gabriella Vargas. So I'll show that to you now. And here it is. This was in August 29th, 2023. And the title is Temporary Order Sealing Exhibit B of State's Notice of Intent Not to Cross-Examine Defense Witnesses, District Court Decision, and Records to Explain Witness Contact Pending Hearing. Now, I don't know about you guys. I never heard that there was a hearing on this issue. I may be mistaken, and if I am, please correct me. I never saw a hearing on this. It just suddenly just people forgot about it, I thought. And of course, I'm not perfect. There may have been, whether it may have been sealed hearing or secret hearing, but I'm certainly not aware of it. So I'm putting that out there because I've looked at the docket or the case summary, and I didn't see any such hearing. But I'm human. I could have missed it. In any event, I'm going to read what it says. It says, based upon the state's motion to temporarily seal Exhibit B of State's Notice of Intent not to cross-examine defense witnesses, District Court Decision, and Records to Explain Witness Contact Pending Hearing filed herein, and no objection from defense counsel, the court does hereby confirm and order that Exhibit B is exempt from disclosure and are sealed pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rule 32G1 for the reasons stated in the said motion and until a hearing can be had on the matter. Well, I don't know what happened, but I don't remember there being a hearing. And I'm looking forward to seeing if this Exhibit B will be unsealed during this lengthy ongoing process of unsealing documents in the Kohberger case. So this was one of the things that happened in this case that was really just strange. It was beyond anything. I was shocked. A lot of people were shocked. But it somehow was overlooked, I guess, because I don't remember there being a hearing about this. I certainly think there should have been. And why there wasn't is, I have no idea. But you got the feds going to a witness who testified in a hearing for the defendant and going to her house and talking to her about her testimony because Mr. Thompson thinks that's the better way to handle it than cross-examine the witness or cross-examine Ms. Vargas. That doesn't make sense. I mean, if you want to discredit Ms. Vargas, you do it on the stand in front of the judge so the judge can either take into consideration what she has to say or just toss it out and listen, toss it out. That's what the motion hearing was for. Yet they chose not to cross-examine any of the witnesses, including Gabriella Vargas. So that really was strange. It didn't look right. So this is why I continue to cover this case. And anyway, I'll see you guys. I'll leave it there. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.